show you how to get flawless skin. We all want it, but sometimes you have to experiment a little bit to try and figure out what works for you. I've finally found what works for me, and it took a while, but hopefully this works for you too. And let's get started. First, you always want to start off with a primer. You don't have to use a primer, but I find that your foundation goes on a lot smoother and it has a lot more staying power. And that's what we want. We don't want it melting off throughout the day. I use CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Serum Primer. And I've used a lot of the expensive brands too. But I find that a lot of times, more money does not mean better quality. I have discovered that a lot of the cheaper brands just work better for me. That's just me personally. But what I do with this one is I do about half a pump. You really don't need a whole pump. Put it on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to dab my fingers into it and put it all over my face. And this primer I like because I have oily skin, and this primer actually is a moisturizer also. And a lot of the things people mistake is that, oh, my skin's oily, I don't need to use moisturizer because that's just going to make it more oily. Well, actually what you're doing is just dehydrating your face, because that oil doesn't replenish the moisture that your face needs. So you always need to be sure to moisturize even if you have oily skin. I did the exact same thing. I was like, I'm not going to use moisturizer. My face is oily. It's just going to make it worse. But it takes a lot of trial and error. Find the moisturizer that works for you. I use a moisturizer by Philosophy. It's expensive, but it works. All their products, I swear by them. So next, we're going to take our foundation, now that we're fully primed on our face. And I use the NARS, what is it? It's the Sheer Matte in medium 2. And I used to use, well, I'll still use it to this day, like if I go to the lake or something. But I used to use the Revlon Color Stay. And I like it. It stays put and it's really pigmented and definitely covers up anything you might want hidden. But I'm a big fan of not feeling like I have moisturizer, or feeling like I have a foundation on. I do not like that heavy feeling. I want to feel like I have nothing on. And the Revlon Color Stay had the tendency to feel like I had a bunch of makeup on, and it felt cakey, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. I didn't like that feeling. I like the outcome it gives, but I don't like the feeling that I have with it. And yes, I apply my foundation with my fingers. I am probably going to start trying to apply it with a sponge, but honestly, your fingers are like the greatest tools you will ever have. I mean, first of all, they're free. And I mean, you can just do so much. And even if you watch celebrities, makeup artists, they'll say that too. I've seen that with Kim Kardashian's makeup artist. He uses his fingers most of the time. The only time he really uses brushes is for eyeshadows, and I think that's great. You always want to blend it down the neck. I think that's my biggest pet peeve, is when you go out and you see a bunch of two-toned people, their face is a completely different color. But yeah, I'm just trying to use up the last of the foundation that I have. Oh, well, that's good enough. So now we got that, and if you have any problem areas, for me, I like to try and cover up my freckles as much as possible. I don't like them. My husband likes them, but I just don't. So I try to cover mute them out. You know, not completely pack it on because that would just look ridiculous. But and if you have any like blemishes or scarring, you're gonna use a concealer. I use, again, the CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Eye Concealer. Oh my gosh, this is the best concealer I've ever tried. I've tried things from Smashbox, NARS, where else did I try one? I tried one from MAC. I've tried a lot of high-end concealers, and when I took this one, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the creamiest, smoothest thing, and it does not accentuate any fine lines or bumps or anything that you might get in your under eye area. It is a miracle worker. And not only does it conceal well, it also, the white swirls in it, it's a moisturizer, so it's not going to dry you out. I am telling you, you got to get this. So we're going to just put this under the eye area. And you always want to kind of get it a shade or two lighter than your skin tone. I mean, you can get it the same color, but you want to kind of brighten your under eye area, you know. And I like to kind of go in a triangle form. It really brightens the face and kind of widens it too, so it looks like you have a nice flat canvas you're working with. Okay. And I have a little blemish right there. Okay. And now I am going to set my face with powder. And again, now I don't want you guys to think that I'm promoting NARS or anything or getting paid for it. I'm not made of money, so it takes me a while to get these high-end products. But when I really want it, I save up for it and I get it. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush, just any kind of fluffy brush, and I've got the Milled Face powder in the color Flesh, and I'm just going to kind of pat it on. I just don't like to buff it in like a lot of people do. We're just going to finish patting it on. Alright. And then I'm a big contour kind of person, contour and blush, and so I'm going to take a small little brush. It's kind of flat, it's specifically for your cheekbones. But what you're going to do is, a lot of people will make the fishy face, like to find the hollows of their cheekbones, but I just kind of move my mouth to the side. So and you always want to blend it back into the hairline. Alright, and you can already see the difference. It kind of slenderizes your face. I'm going to blend this out with my fingers a little bit. Alright, and I used the NARS Orgasm Blush. I was so excited to get all these things. I've been wanting to try them for so long. And I'm going to use the same brush that I did to set my face with the powder. Tap off the excess. And I'm not a big blush popper. I don't like my blush to just pop. I like it to be more of a subtle, natural, kind of like blushing look. And since it's summertime, I love to use a highlighter right on the cheekbones. So when you're out in the sun, it just, oh my gosh, it hits so beautifully. I use the Benefit High Beam. And what you do is just, oh, and don't do what I just did by letting it get in your hair. You just want to tap it. You kind of put it up here into the temple area. I don't know if you can see that, but it just gives a beautiful glow to your cheekbones. I never leave the house without this when I decide to make myself up. Yes, I am human. I don't wear makeup every single day. There are times you want to give your skin a chance to breathe and some downtime, because just like everything else, it needs a little oxygen. All right, and that is my flawless skin look, and I hope this works for you. I hope this was helpful. Again, just find the foundation that works for you. I think the foundation is the one thing that I would splurge on. That's the one thing you want to make sure you find that just works for you. It does not have to be expensive or top name brand, because I've used Revlon Color Stay for a long time, but I just wanted to try and find something that didn't feel heavy on my face, because I just absolutely hate that feeling. But again, I hope this worked for you. I hope you have a great day, and remember, smile, because that's what makes you most beautiful. All right? Bye. See you next time.